Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of FishTown here in City Skylines 2, where last episode we implemented our first variation of public transport, and that was taxis. And the reason behind it is because it was fairly cheap to implement and there's not really that many places to go at the moment until today. We also built the industrial area, which I asked you guys to give me some sweet name suggestions, and we've got a pretty good one, which we're going to rename in just a second. But we're now finally producing food from our fish product. We're now creating those beautiful canned fish, smoked fish fillets, and even sushi. The Japanese are going to love me, boys. They are going to love me right now. But we have a major problem. We actually have a major problem right now, which we tried to rectify in the last episode by basically increasing the amount of ships that come in by basically changing the ship. Before I was getting 25-ton ships coming in, now I'm getting 250-ton ships coming in. And our big problem is we're producing too many goods than we're exporting. We don't have enough storage, we don't have enough exporting capabilities, because the challenge of FishTown being an isolated island is we don't have the luxury of trains and vehicles just freely driving out of the region. We're heavily relying on ships. Now, this is where it all changes, because we're going to be building our very own port. Now, I just need to say this before we start, and I need everyone to listen right now. There's a saying, guys. They say, I don't know who says it, but they say trust the process, right? Now, you're probably wondering, Seniac, I have no confidence in you. You've said that, now I have no confidence in you. Guys, trust the process with what I'm about to build, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Just trust the process. So, originally I was going to have planned to have the port over here, but I'm going to build it on this whole peninsula here. Like I said, guys, trust the process. I'm hearing a lot of negativity already, but it should be pretty good. So if you are enjoying the series, smash the like button. Subscribe if you are new, get notified, smash that like button, all that jazz. Sweet, sweet, sweet. We are back. So before we jump into it, we're going to rename Cedar Buff right now, and I asked you guys to give me some name suggestions, and I like Mohammed's one. He actually came up with a pretty good one to call it Yellowfin. So I like this. I like naming all the areas. This could be a feature of the series. So every time I build a new region, guys, or I want something renaming, I think this is what we should do. I've just called it Yellowfish. We should name it after kind of like fish. So Yellowfin Park is what we're going to call it right now, of our brand new industrial estate. Appreciate it, Mohammed. Appreciate it right now. So we need a port. We need to increase the storage, and we need to increase the imports and exports to make this more viable. I was going to build it here, but I've kind of want to go a little bit further. With the brand new ports DLC, it does mean we can kind of create something a little bit special. So when I say trust the process, I really do mean trust the process right now, because I'm going to spend a lot of money. I'm also going to increase our expenses quite dramatically. But there's another saying, and I don't know who says it, but there's another saying: you got to spend money to make money. So hopefully the port I'm about to build is going to set FishTown up, the great nation of FishTown, up for the future. Right, I've said it. Okay, I've said it now. I've said it. Right, what I'm going to do is we're going to take a quick look right now. I don't know whether to go with the large one. Where are the variations? There we go. Small port or medium port. Or we do have the ability to do large. I think large might be too big. I think small might be too small. I think medium might be the one for us. Now, let me just kind of vaguely place it here. I'll end up repositioning it. I just want to see what's available for us to kind of implement. So we have a few variations of things we can drop down. Now, do we try and incorporate passenger vessels within this harbour? I think it could be something that we look towards in the future. We might not have to implement it now. It all depends on how much we're going to be spending. But maybe. So we've got port gates. These are just like additional entry points. The passenger terminal, the employee canteen, port security, response, all that good stuff. So we got the container cranes is what we utilize to put on the edge for ships to load and unload. We have the ability to drop in a train terminal, which could be interesting. I know the island's pretty small, but we could utilize trains to carry vast amounts of cargo so the roads are not being crammed. We've got a bunch of container yards to increase our storage, which is amazing. Warehouses. Now we've got tankers for oil. And we also have ore storage, which we probably won't need because we're not, this is FishTown. We're getting fish. And then we got a bunch of seaways, the cargo and passenger routes, and then we got all of the roads, which I want to look towards first utilizing the port keys. So I've got this idea, and when I say trust the process, I really do mean it because I'm going to create the port to look like an anchor. Yeah, okay, right, I can hear the, wait, what? Coming from everybody right now. I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to create the land to go out there and go out there. I'm going to create an anchor. And, I mean, that actually could be a good idea for you guys to give me some naming suggestions for the port. One side will have cargo ships, and on the other side we'll have the passenger side of it. Yeah. That could be interesting. So let me just play around with this then, because we've got to now figure out how this is going to work. So I think I'm going to align everything. And let's say I come off this here. So let me just bring this down. However I position this is going to be the placement then of my beautiful harbour. So we'll go then. How far out do we stick it? Now I think we're going to play around with some of the roads. So they're treated as a 2-lane. So is that a 2? Yeah, it's a 2 single lane. It's not like a 4-lane as opposed to something like this. I don't think a 4-lane will be kind of nicely set up in the middle. I'm not too sure. I could do the normal variant of road, which is this here, which it kind of feels like a 4-lane road, but it's not, which is interesting. We got the normal 2-lane there. We can do this one, but it's a lot thinner, but I do like the chunkier ones. So we place that there. I just got to figure out the spacing now before adding the next kind of a key wall scenario. So I've got to figure out then what I can actually squeeze in the center and how it's going to work. So let's just place... Now, is a warehouse bigger than containers? Not really. So I've got to now figure this all out. So let me just utilize these little one-way systems. And let me now just kind of figure out my placements, and then we'll go from there. So a large warehouse takes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tiles. One of these takes up 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, I think we'll do these here running down to our anchor, and then we'll do the warehouses on the hooks of the anchor. Now we can also incorporate a train yard, which takes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, bear with me on this now, okay? Just bear with me on this. So we know it takes up 4, so 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that there is your 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to get 2 of them container things side by side. Then we have, I've already forgotten what the train line was going to be. This is, right, stop moving, stop moving. It takes up 6. Now I don't think I'm going to have enough room to, I've lost it now. Have I got to click on this to kind of bring that up? Yes. So 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would go there. And then bringing this all the way out, we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more. Right, I know that's kind of overhanging, but I'm just kind of getting to grips. So that connection there actually is this here, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So can I... Do I have to keep clicking on this every time I want to kind of like add something within this? So if I went just... Where does that end? There. It kind of goes down to there. So... Let me just do it like that. So let me just double check again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. we have our spacing. So the idea would be I could kind of like within this vicinity implement the train line or the train yard, whatever you want to call it there. Container ships either side, big cranes to load up the ships, and then as it comes down there's more storage around here, and there'll be some storage up here as well, and then we'll reposition the entry to the roads. Does that make sense? I'm hoping that's kind of going to work and it's kind of going to make sense. Now the issue is we of course need to now set this all up and get all of the alignments in place. So why is it every time it tries to snap it does a weird glitch? So I've got to do a lot of land reclamation right now. That's what we've now got to sort out. Now I can reposition this, right? I can select this and I can reposition. It doesn't affect any of that. Okay, glorious. Right, sweet, sweet, sweet. So in theory, we can slowly start to build it up and then go from there. So if I delete you, because I know where that kind of placement's going to be. And we've also got to figure out where the bend is going to happen and how far we're taking this now down. Ooh, this has just got exciting. Right, let's continue then. So we'll bring that to, let's just say to here. And then I'm going to want to try and bring this to the same area. Now, I don't know how easy this is going to be. I ultimately do not know. So let me now start with this then. Do we get like 2 lengths of this going down? I think one's probably going to be enough. So I could say I do it, let's just say 2 away from the top, which will put me there. And then, oh, is this not all the same level? Oh, of course it's not. Of course it's not. Hold on, let's do some terraining right now. So, is it better to smooth it? I'm not sure what the best way to go about doing this would be. Well, I completely forgot about the smoothie. And, of course, the land doesn't fully connect there. I forgot about the smoothie I've got to do. So I'm going to have to rejiggle this momentarily. There we go, there we go, there we go. Bring... Can I select during? No, I've got to keep... It's going to kind of annoy me having to keep selecting that, but we continue. Right, got to get that. Why is it not snapping? There we go. So, those beautiful... Yeah, I'm paused right now. I want to try and remain paused. So, that would go there. That would go there. That slightly hangs over a little bit more than the other one, which is really annoying. But I don't think it's going to hurt me too much. And then we'll get the little road here, which I've got to go back to this. Oh, it's the one-way road I've done. I've actually kind of messed up slightly because I've incorporated the one-way road. So technically, I need to move it all over by 1 more. See, I knew I would mess up, guys. I knew I would mess up. Right, come off to there. So bring that going first over. That's going to run down. Yeah, okay. So, right. I now know what I'm doing. So this should be a breeze now, okay? This should now be a breeze. So let's just widen this a tad bit more. And I'm actually going to get rid of this. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. And then, are we now able to smoothie? It's all now the same height. I want to bring this out just a little bit more. We'll come back and fine-tune it if we need to. Right, now we've got it. Right, there should be no complaints now. No complaints. Right, the normal road, which... We're just going to have to use this, aren't we? We're just going to have to. Delete you, delete you. Right, that's going to super annoy me trying to get this done. Okay, so let's go off this then. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So is it there? Did I calculate that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. And then we have to give this an A6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would go there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here, we need to upgrade that to that, but I've now got to pull it all back slightly. Right. Let's just smoothen that off there real quick. If I quickly delete you and then go again, and now we've got our edge wall. Right. Oh, don't play these games. What's going on now? Right, can I upgrade it to be that now? Yes. Right, we're back in business. We are now back in business. So I'm just going to bring this going down straight until we figure out where it kind of snaps a little bit differently. So logically then, this can now run all the way down. This can now run all the way down. And then we can then start to incorporate stuff. So the rail yard can go there. So I'm going to put that just... Because I know these roads aren't... That one's not going to be there at the minute, and that's not going to attach there. We're just kind of getting our alignments all set up. So we'll start with you. You're there, you're there. You're there, you're... Oh, it's overlapping the beach. Of course it is. You're in the rail yard. We'll go there. Right, that is then the centered area of the port coming down. And then the rail yard will kind of skedoodle through. And obviously we'll have to make the rail yard do something a little bit different. So it's not going for the center of this. I could reposition that anyway. Right, okay. So now, this is the tricky scenario now. It's trying to create the anchor. That's going to be the tricky scenario. Now, do I allow this to go down by a whole load more? Now, what are these doing? These are providing up to 10 kilotons of cargo, but they also add an extra 13,000 big ones a month. So it's a case of, do I need to slow down slightly with all of this? The answer's probably yes. Probably yes right now. We need to slow down with how many we're actually building. I could do the smaller variant, so I can then utilize this here as a nice little cut through. Nice little cut through there. And then I'll drop down some smaller containers. And then wherever these end, that's where we then create said bend. Right. Can't get anything in there. That's fine by me. So let me now just work with the road. So we'll go to here. And I'm going to bridge that going across there because it allows me to connect up to the ends. Right, there we go. That's where we're working with the ends there. And now we need to create our glorious hook. Our glorious hook, boys. So I reckon we actually maybe bring that out and up. Bring that out and up. I can kind of like sprawl them out. And that's where we then start to incorporate warehouses. Right. Oh, it's a stressful one, isn't it? I'm already stressed as it is. Okay, so we will go across like this, and I'm not too sure how far to go. Now, this, like I said, trust the process, guys. Trust the process. Let me just initially kind of fine-tune the land first. So I could either do that. When I say it's going to look like an anchor, right, just have some imagination. Okay? Have some imagination. So, oh, nice. Well, interestingly, we can kind of get it to like replicate its turn to go to here. So that's the entry point for like if this was the passenger side, for example. But I don't know whether I should maybe kind of do it like this. And then we just play around because it will all be built with angles. That's what we're going to have to try and set up. Now, my next question would be, we're using this sticky out bit as like a sea barrier for the waves coming in. So would it make sense to kind of move it up a bit more? like it kind of, instead of like an anchor as you would expect, diagonal, it's more of a square. If it was more of a square, so if I did it like that, I mean, I could still do diagonal here, it's not a problem. But it kind of sticks out a bit more. Maybe it doesn't need to go as far now. See, that could kind of work. I'm just getting this just right. Make this a little bit wider, though. Wide enough for the ships to come in. Now, if I just made it squares, as we've reclaimed land, that kind of works weirdly. And then if I just sort this out, so we'll kind of sort out all the placement and then we'll come back and then do the rest of the land. Now, I know it's a lot of land being reclaimed, right? But we will fine-tune it. Have faith. Have faith. So we've got to figure out then, this is what's now going to determine the space between these, is with the container cranes. I'll go with the striped ones. It's how much space you require for the ship. Now, I think they're both the same. They kind of look the same, right? Yeah. I'll go with this one, though. And if I was to put, for example, this here. So if I did that one there. And I can have the passenger. I mean, what does the passenger look like? The passenger is a terminal, right? Its own separate building. Alright, okay. So let me just put you... Now, if I did one there, how does it work on this side? Can I just go play mode real quick just so I can get the water in? I need to know how it kind of attaches if I put one on this side to the ship there. They kind of just do something like that so I can get like double down. Right, we'll build this side and then that's going to then determine how this side's going to look. Right, we need that road then. So, do I just utilize this road here? And then we just upgrade from it? So I could go over by a 280. So remember this, boys. 280. Let's just go 240 for a minute. So 280, 240. And then I'm going to upgrade on the inside. So remember that. We're upgrading from the inside. We're upgrading from the inside. So 280, 240. But we just got to sort out the land. So for some reason it hasn't done the key wall scenario. So 280, 240. And then how does it look over then here when we drop in the actual crane? So I think we are going to have a slight issue. Now, this is anarchying it in, by the way. So let's just see if it actually works. We can kind of like fake it by doing this. Okay, so it can do that. So the ship's able to pass through this, so we can kind of like get away with it. Unless I push this back a little bit further. That's the next question. Would we push it back a little bit further? So that was a 280, right? So let me retry that again. We'll redo it. Back into play mode. Boom, 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 boom. And making sure it's all the same road. So we did a 280 before. So coming off that, we'll do a 304. Okay, we'll do a 304. So pushing this, going down. So 304. Right, get the water to roll in real quick. Now this feels really wide at this point. I'm not sure how I like this. So 304 by... Again, let's just go 240 just to round off the numbers. And then upgrade on the inside. Upgrade on the inside. Very good. So we're creating some cliff edges there, but, you know, we can sort that out in just a moment. Oh, that's sinking. Why are you sinking right now? What possessed you? What possessed you? So something like that. doesn't give us much breathing space, but it's a little bit better than what it could have been. It's a little bit better than what it could have been. Right, we'll roll with that. We'll go with that, boys. We'll go with that. So let's just quickly sort out this then. So I know we've got to do... That's going to be treated as the right side. So the right side is key, retaining. I don't want to do any of that, to be honest with you. How do I get it now to not do that? Is it best if I just now delete and then replace? Because I can't see that now being an issue. Drop you down. So that's a 304. Ah, okay. So just deleting it and placing it back down again just simply works. So 304. I'll redo this again. Because I'm just now fine-tuning the land. So I'll go a bit further than I need to. Now, once I've done this, I can then replicate the other side super easy. And then we are in business. So sticking to a 90 degree. I did say 240, didn't I? Yeah. There we go. 240, and then we'll figure the rest out. So that will be my spacing. I don't know whether to go a bit more than 240. I think that might be okay this side. I might make this side go a little bit more than 240. So let me just figure the rest of this out now. Let's get this done. And then we'll come back and build the rest of the port. I am terrified for how much this is going to cost me monthly. Right, so I've got the rough layout now pretty much done. It looks a bit mental, bearing in mind, but it is a man-made port. And it's going to be a very busy one at that. So we've got the cargo containers there. I'm not sure whether we're going to keep them there. So let me just now play around with these. So these cost me 120,000 big ones every time I place one down. So rather than delete, I'm just going to reposition is the better way to probably do it. So if I put, for example, let's just say I drop one here. And then the next one kind of went just there. And, oh, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. And then can I grab that one and reposition you? Yes, it's cheaper to reposition. Now, do I want to reposition it or do I want to place it opposite? Do I want cargo only on this, well, on this side as well as passenger? Well, if I'm being honest with you, if I'm squeezing in passenger, I'm probably going to put it over there. But I think let's just treat it as if I'm not doing cargo on that side. So I'm going to have to... This is Anarched as well, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm just trying to find the best position for it. So we'll just kind of go here. And then do the same then with this one. So apparently there's no car access. So this one I've got to do a little bit different. So maybe we slightly stagger them. Now I'm just realizing it's probably the better idea to stagger them. So put you there and then reposition this one. I'm wasting so much money, but I'm just thinking about the money I'm going to be spending. Right, they're now slightly staggered. So just out of curiosity, because this is going to be a deciding factor moving forward, you can go... No, you can go to there, but you can't go... What I'm saying is I kind of need to make sure that our ships are able to get in and out. So let me just put this here and then run that to there. Now I've got a sneaky suspicion. Yeah, the pathfinding is just not going to work. Right, so do I need 4? Is the question. Do I need 4? Well, it all comes down to the positioning of them, of course. But the great thing is you can kind of like tell where they're going to be. So if I say I got rid of you. No, I don't want to get rid of them. I'd rather reposition them. Let's just put 2 over on this side then. And then this one. Yeah, it really doesn't like being like that, which is fine. It's completely fine. Now, just out of curiosity, if I moved, for example, this one on this side, so you could have it like that and have one either side. And that kind of works, but let's just leave them like that for a minute anyway. So we'll have passenger over here. I can throw some cargo, other stuff on this side as well if I wanted more ships. It'll just be a case of moving some stuff around. Which, like I said, it's not a problem. Because I can kind of put that one there. But also I can also squeeze in that one there. And I don't think you would want to go any further than that. Anything else, it's a bit tricky. It's a bit tricky, but you could also... I could also put this here and then drag it out from that side. I just don't want to keep spending money. So I'm going to keep it like that for now. We'll keep it like this for now. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. So we've got a lot of storage here then with these rail container yards. And I think some warehouses will obviously be a good fit as well. And I've got all this space over here now set up for warehouses. So that's the only other variation of storage I'm probably going to want. Now, do I go for a large boy? Do I go for a couple of smaller boys? Do I go for a medium boy? Let's start with a medium boy right now. So I've put that there. Can I reposition on the move it tool? So for some reason, the move it tool does not allow me to reposition it. Interesting. But I'm going to put down the concrete flooring anyway. And that's what we're going to do. So let me get back to all this then, because I want to now finalize all this off. And then at the end, we're going to see truly how much I am now spending. Right, put you through like this. Okay, we'll do concrete either side just to kind of make it all fit in. And that warehouse is way too big. I feel like something like this is probably better. But it's all dependent, like I said, on this. So let's keep that going. That's gone wonky, hasn't it? That went super wonky. There we go. We'll do that. We'll do that. And then we'll go for like a medium star one. Shame I can't go for the big boy. I could put the big boy down. What's the difference in sizes? 15 kilotons, 7.5, 5. So if I went for a medium one there, the small one can squeeze in, but that means not having a road. Now I could not have a road on this, but then flip it round this way. But then you've got vehicle access issues. Do I go this way then? The issue is, because I'm having to merge it. So I've got the idea then of upgrading this road. It's kind of annoying me how much I've got to keep clicking into this. There's probably a better way to do it, but I am foolish. Like that. Then move you down by 1 to reposition you. Why is this not playing ball? Is it because of this one? You know, guys, this has cost me a fortune, right? You know, it just cost me a complete fortune to get you all in. I think it might have been the warehouse that was bugged. Right, that's better. So a bunch of warehouses in. It does mean all their entry points are on this side. Could be a problem for the future. It really could be. So let's now... I'm going to concrete it all off just to save some money. This will be a slow evolution of stuff that we add in. So services, concrete. Oh, we have to get rid of all these trees as well, aren't we? Yeah, let me just get rid of all these trees real quick. So I can't remember what trees we've got here. So we'll try and get rid of a bit of everything. Birch, oak. There we go. It's a shame I can't, like, all trees. You know what I mean? I know there's some palm trees around. Okay, just got rid of some of them palm trees. And there is some bushes, but I don't know which bushes they are. Apple tree. Is it these cultivated ones? No. These ones. No. These ones. No. It's easy to click on them. I've got a pine. And I've got... There we go. A cultivated flower bush 1. So a pine, get rid of. A cultivated flower bush 1. There we go. All right, many different types of trees. There was one rogue one there I was going to get rid of. Absolutely glorious. So let's concrete this all off then. So we'll go from there up to here. Make it feel like a proper area. So we'll concrete in multiple stages. Keep it simple. And then connect you up. So concrete it all off there. We'll then do a little bit more concrete in here. So any greenery gets hidden. Because, you know, this is the port, boys. This is the port right now. Now it's coming together. Now it is slowly coming together. So we now need to connect up this and then connect it up to our main road. And then we're good to go. Okay. Very expensive, spending millions, but this is going to set us up nicely. Think of the bigger picture. Remember, guys, hear me out. I still hope you are hearing me out right now. Okay, so we've got the style roads, which is completely fine. Now, do I replicate this just here? Actually, question. Do these line up to there? Not really. Not really. So we'll have to create a point where it all comes in one place. But also the train line needs to roll out. So maybe we have the train line scenario set up as well. Yeah, that'd probably be the better idea. So I'm not going to do anything amazing now. I'm just going to run this to an end point. So let's just call it there. And then do the same with you. Now, it does mean that they're going to be slowly pulling away from one another, which, like I said before, I don't mind because it hasn't all got to be organized beautifully. Now, why do we not have... Oh, that's part of this, isn't it? So if I added one of these on, it makes it stick out further. Of course it does. Oh, it does mean I could get another one down here, though. So that's an interesting concept. So let's create then the entry of the road then. So two-way road. So let's kind of bring that like this. So that becomes the straight on connection. We will then reposition you. So you've got the entry point. Something like this. No. No. It doesn't work like that, does it? No. How do I flip this round? I don't want it like this. So what's the issue here? We have gate bypass exists. Traffic can bypass the gate when entering. Yes, of course they can bypass the gate when entering in. I would have thought I could flip this around to the opposite side. So I want it to go there. Right, I'm trying to do this. So, oh, no. Oh, no. What has happened? My whole port has shifted. Okay, this is one of those moments where I now cry. Right, we got there in the end. Luckily, I have autosave enabled. But I've redone this then. We've got a nice little entry point now, which obviously we got to connect up. At the minute they just go left and right, it's not really set up. I'm going to run these roads into this, and then obviously it'll be nice for the train line to kind of continue running straight. So the angle that it runs kind of goes out. So let me now incorporate the road. So we'll utilize the same port road anyway. So if I ran this, oh, the bend takes place on this pretty early. So it's like a 19 by 20, and then that should run directly up. Now, where does the bend on this one take place? Now, that obviously is going to happen a little bit later. So I'll run that to there and then directly up. Oh, hello. Get back here. There we go. So that's just naturally where it's wider there than it is here, so it's going to naturally pinch. And then we'll just incorporate the train line then running out. So I want it to run straight. So that's where straight for us currently is. Unless I allow it to run like almost parallel to this. So if I ran in like, or at least to there, and then I ran that snapped going straight here, to which we'll then get our little bend there. So it kind of passes over like it would do like in some form of a real port. And now we have a train line connection. So pulling and pause then, we're just going to quickly connect this all up. We'll get our first ships all set up as well. This should be pretty glorious. Now, are we going to have a Chrissy Crossy here as well for the port area? Probably. We're going to figure out how we kind of bringing this together at the same time as well. So let me just work with the highway roads. I don't expect there to be much traffic. And let's say now this is all hypothetical. This is all hypothetical connections. Let's just say I put you there. So I'm just figuring out where my crisscross is. And alright, delete you. I could do a little bit of a bend and then pull it on the bend. It might be a bit nicer of a connection. So 132 by 131. That does it for me. And then our entry to our port is here, because this will allow us to eventually create a pretty solid connection running into the port area. Gives us space for like an interchange or a junction of some sorts. Kind of works out pretty well. Now from a distance it doesn't look too bad. It only looks semi-terrible now because there's a lot of buildings missing to make it exactly how we want it. So we'll create, and I wonder if I can kind of find like a focal point here. But let me just bring this out by 80. Let me bring this out by 80. Do that. And then does it make sense to maybe merge it into like a middle point? Or do you reckon that's too many road connections? I'm not too sure. But I'm going to upgrade this to be a highway road anyway. This is all like to be continued scenario. It's a natural evolution. A natural progression. To be continued. Right, let's give them the power and stuff then. So the road network is going to require electricity, which I'm going to bring it from over there to run to there, which that should give it now power. So that should be at least one less thing they complain about. It's probably not enough power. I don't think we're going to be producing enough power in general. Now, the sewage side of things and all that jazz, I'm going to run down with the highway road. There we go. with the pipe work into here, but I don't think it ultimately connects there, does it? No, it does. So that gives us our sewage power. We just have lack of labour and lack of high-skilled labour at this point. So that's all we've got now. And that's all we have now for our big, beautiful port. So last thing I'm going to do is just a little bit of smoothie. And then we'll get the ships coming in. Now, my question is, and I want you guys to let me know. I want you guys to let me know a couple of things, to be honest with you. Do you think that's too shallow? I know it is probably too shallow. But the reason I say, or reason I'm asking right now is because visually, it's kind of nice to see a little bit of water. Or do you reckon we need to make it a little bit deeper? I think logically, it does need to be a bit deeper. So I don't even know why I'm doing that, because I know it has to be dredged down a bit for the ship depth. There we go. And then I'm just going to up the... Right, I don't know how this is going to look, but we've got a lot of smoothing now to do because of all of the terraining that I've done. Now, what's interesting is, and I don't know if you've noticed it, but the island originally come down to here. I've pulled it back a bit. You can see where the peninsula once was. So I've actually shortened it and widened it. So you could argue I've taken all the land here and I've pushed it sideways to create these reclaimed little areas. Right, that looks pretty good. We'll go with that. So we now need to sort out these shipping routes, and we're doing the narrow seaways. And I don't know if these are shipping routes or fishing routes. I'm going to assume with the jagged edges, they're not shipping routes. So we're going to pause, and I'm going to delete these real quick. Actually, can you upgrade them to be that? Oh my goodness me, you can. You actually can. Right. There was no deleting required. That's just made life 10 times easier. There was no deleting. After all that, no deleting required. Right, bringing you to there. And it might mean that we need to slightly rejig this little fishing area to allow the ships to come in a little bit easier. But until then, this is how we'll just do it until we figure out. So let's just do this side next then. We'll obviously have the ships come into here to begin with. And allow them to go this way. So we're just creating all of our shipping routes. So for now, that should be just fine. So I'll make them all go out to there from this port. That's what I think we should start with. So cargo shipping route then. We'll start with our first one. We'll go from here to there and then back again. And then I'll do from here to there and then back again. So we'll just start with 2. So that does increase the amount of cargo we can now ship in and ship out. We've got a lot of storage as well. So let's run into play mode for a little bit. We'll have a little bit of a fast forward. And just wait for everything to now settle. So we should be losing... Oh, hold on. I kind of forgot about the fish. Seniac, we need fishing. Right, back in business. So we should be hemorrhaging money like ridiculous now. So we've basically added an extra 100 grand of losses a month. But what we're hoping for... Actually, that number's increasing. But what we're hoping for is the additional capacity for not only storage, but for importing and exporting, or mainly exporting, is going to allow us to earn more revenue. Now, vehicles are already coming in. They've already got fish on, because obviously they're going to store it. And that's super important. So we are going to be expecting quite a few vehicles making their way down here right now. So I'm not sure how often we're going to see it. But then again, if there's only one vehicle, it will take its time to get over here. There we go. Storage is slightly dropping, which means more fishing can now happening. And that also means more stuff we can then export. Is that the ship that got produced from that shipping route? No, 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 no. I want the large cargo ship now, please. The large boy. Shipping route 3. I want that. Yeah, it's already on the large one, that one. We now have the space to do it. We now have the space to do it, boys. Very good, very good, very good. Right. There's probably the ability for me to add the road in there, which would be kind of good. The containers are moving around. But we're now going to give them time to move all their fish stock over to the port. And we have the port now set up in its kind of version 1, ready for us now to extend and expand upon. Oh, there we go. Our 1,000 big one loss has now slightly changed. I'm assuming that's because now we are exporting a lot more. So maybe it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. Oh my goodness me, there's a lot of imports. Maybe the big money jumping up was the imports. How much is this actually costing me? So this is costing me the grand total of 167 big ones a month. That's a lot, isn't it? That is a lot, but it's what's going to drive this economy of FishTown. I like this. I kind of like this right now. There's a lot of work still to do, a lot of stuff that we've got to add on. We are missing important stuff like, I know there's a customs office which can increase the import costs citywide and decrease the export profits? Wait, why would I want to decrease the export profits? Customs office tax shipments handle import and export paperwork. Their work reduces the crimes, also enforce import and export duties, government tariffs. Ah! Okay, no, we don't want that. I don't want to hinder myself any more than we currently are right now. But this is a good sign. There's 30 tons of fish on that boat. There's 30 tons of fish on that boat right now. We just got to give them time to get all the fish over. But we will start seeing once it's... Look at the profits right now of that fishing pier thing. Damn. It means we can now start pushing it even further. So what do we need now then? Well, we need not only more people living on the island to take up all these brand new jobs, which there is no one unemployed and there is 600 jobs available. Oh, sorry. No, there is an employment, sorry. 22%. Now, the reason for that is they can't get to work. So do you think next episode, guys, we need to, you know, actually implement a bus service? I think so. I think so. But the port area has now been produced. What I'll do right now, then, is I'll create a district. So let me just quickly build a district around this. Guys, we need some names right now for our port. Give me some name suggestions for our port right now. It's called Pine Acres by default, but we got to give it a name. We've got to give the port its very own name. Now, before you say anything, yes, it's basic. There's still a lot more that we've got to add to it, but we'll do it as we earn revenue. But my next question is, do we keep this cargo pier? Is this something that we now keep? So many questions. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Let me know. But we are now starting to see a lot more trucks driving around as they're now navigating not only to the factories, but to obviously import and export everything a whole lot easier. We're not losing as much money as we thought we were going to. We kind of, weirdly, the exports are paying for the upkeep of the new dock, the new harbour, the new port. So it's kind of cancelled itself out, which now means if a few more people live in here and a few more jobs and a few more industries and a few more products created, we can now start making a dent into making FishTown profitable. And it needs to happen pretty quick because at the end of the day, I've only got 2 million big ones left in our bank account. Guys, we're going to end it here. I said trust the process, and I'm hoping you are still trusting the process right now. You got to think of the bigger picture once the island's all set up. It's a beautiful port area. Lots of space for maneuvering. We can eventually squeeze in passenger, which, to be honest with you, I might put passenger here because it would be an easy transition. I can actually extend the port down a bit more and build passenger around here. Or maybe I extend the port over onto this island as well and then have passengers on this. There's a lot of opportunities here. There is a lot of opportunities that we can play around with. But let's just say this is version 1 of the port. Version 1 of the port of FishTown. It's going to be the economic hub, guys. The economic hub right now. So is there much being stored here right now? Yes, there is. There is a lot of fish, which is a good thing. It is a good thing right now. It means we can just keep on exporting. That ship's on the way out with 60 tons of fish. Nice. And will this ship be leaving? That's got 30 tons of fish ready to export right now. So, I think it's possible. I think it's possible. Guys, we're going to end it here. Hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did, please smash the like button down below. Until next time, we'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.